Hey, thank you so much for clicking on this video and joining me here at Reaching Your Rainbow. I'm Sharnay. Nice to meet you. um, I just want to take a moment to again thank you. Thank you for clicking this video, as there was a reason why you found it. Our paths aligned, and there's a reason. There's no coincidences, and I am here to provide the support and guidance and all of the things that I needed while navigating through my journey after miscarriage, and then going on to conceive a healthy baby naturally at my home, in my own on my own terms. And that's essentially what I want every woman to feel, or to achieve. There's so much disconnect out there, like when it comes to miscarriage. And it's strange to me because 1 in 3 pregnancies end in miscarriage. And if those statistics are if those are the statistics, then why aren't there more resources for women to heal or help women navigate the journey, and research and studies on why it happens so frequently, and give women the help that they need so that they can heal and move on to continue to healthily conceive. So that's essentially the premise of this entire company, this channel, Reaching Your Rainbow. It was founded and created after I experienced a miscarriage, and I was lost and I needed guidance. So I just want to provide all of the guidance that I didn't get when I was going through my journey. So I just want to tell you a little bit of my backstory, just so I can let you know, why I'm equipped to help you, and why I want to help you, and why is my spiritual assignment, my spiritual purpose, to help you heal naturally from miscarriage and go on to conceive and birth on your own terms. In February of 2021, February 13th to be exact, because it was 3 days before my birthday, I found out I was pregnant with my first baby. And it wasn't planned. Like, it was unexpected, but it was a wonderful unexpected surprise birthday present. um, I took the pregnancy test, and I took one, and it was a dark, one line was dark and the other one was faint. So then I took another one, and then the line was super super dark. So had to confirm. But yeah, I was happy, and I told a few people. Of course, I told my partner, and I told my mom, and I told my cousin. I told a couple of people, but not very many, because it was the beginning. But I had to tell somebody because I was giddy, and I felt like very giggly when I found out about it, because it was a surprise and it was before my birthday. So it was like, okay, happy birthday to me. So again, February 2021, which was COVID time, there was still COVID restrictions in place, and that brings me to my first prenatal appointment. I had to go alone. I had to go by myself because they weren't they weren't allowing any guests outside of the people who were being seen into the doctor's office at all. So I was nervous. I was alone. I was excited, but I was extremely nervous, and I don't really mess with doctors, so that's another thing. So it's a possible white coat syndrome in there somewhere, and it showed in my blood pressure. They called me in, and they checked my vitals, and my blood pressure was elevated. I don't remember what it was, but by their standards, it was high. So the nursing assistant who was taking my vitals, she asked me if I was nervous. I was like, yeah. I'm by myself. It's my first pregnancy. Like, yeah, I'm nervous. So she, asked me to take some deep breaths and try to relax. Couldn't do that on demand because, the current situation at hand still stands. Like, I'm still here for my very first prenatal appointment. So she took it again, and it decreased a little bit, but not by much. I went into the exam room, and the the nurse practitioner she's a black woman who I had established care with, and I was under her care for many years, so I was pretty comfortable continuing to be under her care. But much to my surprise, she was big and pregnant too, or she was big and pregnant. I wasn't big, but I was pregnant. And she let me know that after that appointment that she would be going on maternity leave. But anywho, she prepped me for the ultrasound, and I heard the heartbeat, and she measured the baby and determined the gestational age, and I recorded the visit and heard the heartbeat. And also, because I was by myself, I wanted to I had to share it with my partner, so I recorded it for him. And yeah, it was a very joyful moment that turned sour rather quickly, because once all of that was done, she began to question me about my blood pressure. And she asked me if I had a history of high blood pressure, if high blood pressure runs in my family, all of the things. No, I don't have a history of high blood pressure. Yes, high blood pressure runs in my family because everybody eats the same thing. So everybody gonna have high blood pressure. And as a result of my high blood pressure, she told me that on the very first appointment, without considering any other factors, that I would be labeled high risk. And my heart dropped, because I already know like some of the things that it entails. Like, well, I was familiar with some of the things a high risk label entailed. The people that I knew that were pregnant and were considered high risk, they had to go back and forth to the doctor more frequently than, a regular, normal pregnancy. They had to jump through hoops and take all of these tests and all of the things, and that's not something that I wanted. And I didn't want that to shape my entire pregnancy journey. I didn't want it to follow me throughout my entire journey. So I asked her, I was like, so if I'm able to get my blood pressure under control, like, will I still be labeled high risk? And she just looked at me and nodded, yeah. So then, because she was going on maternity leave, she said she wanted to introduce me to the physician that was taking over in her absence. And she led me to the OBGYN's office. And it was a physician that I would never, ever, ever choose for myself. It was a upper age white male. Now, I would never choose a male OBGYN and not an upper age white male at that. So that was another stab. And he wasn't even personable at all. It was just like an aura of control. Like, all right, you in my hands now, and what I say goes, and you're going to do what I say. He said something about my blood pressure. It wasn't very, like I said, it wasn't personable. It didn't feel warm. It was very, very cold. And it just felt like, all right, we here now. I'm going to write you this prescription for high blood pressure medicine, and you're going to take it, and I'll see you next week. And that right there, like, I shouldn't be going to the doctor again that soon. So that kind of shaped the entire experience, and it immediately caused stress. Like, immediately. I went to the car and I cried, and yeah, it was an extremely stressful first appointment. I called I don't think I called. I did. I called my partner on the way home and told him, what was going on. And he, did his best to assure me that everything would be fine. I think I even went to the grocery store to start like finding low sodium vegetables, because mind you, was I vegetarian at the time? I think I might have still been eating dairy, but I wasn't eating meat. Like, I was probably just eating cheese. So I went into the store and found low sodium vegetables in a bag, and just stressing myself out because of this diagnosis that I was given. Yeah. So when I got home, like I said, my partner, he reassured me is that everything's gonna be fine. And my mind was just wrecked with, I just want to make sure that I do this correctly. I just want to make sure I do it right. I just want to make sure like everything is okay. And that stress was no good for me. And everybody knows that stress is not good for pregnancy, especially in the very first trimester. So that's how my journey began. I had maybe about 2 more appointments with them, and every single appointment it was stressful. They sent me home with a big old, I don't know, it had to be a gallon bottle, so that I can put my pee, like every time I peed, they wanted it to go in there to check my potassium levels, and I had to take it back to them, and it was too much. Like, it was so much. And I don't even understand how that isn't considered, like how these practices from in Western medicine doesn't consider a new mom, a mom that's beginning their pregnancy journey, especially when the first trimester is the most delicate trimester. It's so strange to me. So yeah, I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I wasn't going to continue to go there and be stressed. So I established care with a midwife who is a beautiful woman. She treated me with so much care. It was concierge service. So she came to me to conduct all of the appointments and, do all the blood work in my home. Everything that needed to be done, she came to me, and we did it in the house. And that is the way that a pregnant woman should be treated. Like, the red carpet should be rolled out for every single pregnant woman. We are carrying life. We're bringing forth life. There should be no stress. There should be no worry. There should be nothing but support. And that I felt the warmth. I felt the care when I began to, I established care with her, and I began my visits with her. So I believe she did some blood work, and she set me up for my 12-week ultrasound appointment. I think it was maybe like 2 weeks after our first appointment was going to be the 12-week ultrasound appointment. So that time came, and I was like, I was excited because I was out of the care of those stressful people, and going forward, I had a new lease on my pregnancy journey because also she even suggested tips for me to decrease my blood pressure. She told me like breathwork practices and recommended this magnesium drink to help me relax, and not just off the bat trying to prescribe pills. Like, that didn't align with me. And then also the prescription that the other doctor gave me, of course I didn't feel it, because I didn't feel the prescription, because that's not in alignment with who I am. Like, I'm not about to be popping pills. I'm not to be taking drugs, especially while I'm pregnant. Like, that didn't feel safe. So again, like, this midwife, she aligned with me in every single way. But anywho, I went into the sonogram the appointment with so much pep in my step. Like, yo, I'm about to hear my baby. I'm about to see my baby again. I'm excited, like, because it's 12 weeks now. So I go in there, and the ultrasound tech, she's preparing me put the gel on me, prepared me for the exam, and she got started. And of course it shows, like, as you're doing it shows up right on the screen. So I see the little fetus, the little baby, and I'm like, oh my god, so small. But she's quiet, and like, she's clicking, taking pictures. I'm just like, okay, maybe she's just not a personable tech. Like, she just here to do a job, and that's cool because I'm enjoying this experience myself. I didn't record. I wasn't going to begin recording until I heard the heartbeat. And she was still just moving it around, and I'm moving the device around on my belly and taking pictures, and I'm just looking and looking. And then she started asking questions. She asked me, had I ever had an ultrasound before? And I said, yeah, but it wasn't like this. It was transvaginal. And she asked me where my doctor was located. She asked me, had I been pregnant before? She asked me all of these things, but I still hadn't heard the heartbeat. So she took the device off my belly and she apologized. She said, "I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat." And everything stopped. Like, time froze. Like, my mind couldn't wrap itself around what she had just said to me. But she said it and she walked out. And I was there again alone because COVID restrictions. I was alone and I was left there to wipe the gel off my belly and pick myself up and get on out of there. My mouth dropped. I felt like I was numb. Like, I couldn't believe it because so quickly, like, I walked out of there the complete opposite of the way that I walked in. And I hadn't cried because I still couldn't process it. But I called my partner and I told him, and his questions was the same questions I had. He was, "How? What you mean? Why?" I can't answer that for you. I'm sorry. I don't know. Then I called my midwife and she picked up the phone and immediately apologized because the ultrasound tech had reached out to her after I left, or probably when she walked out of the room, and sent her the ultrasound report. And I asked her if there was anything like noticeably wrong, and she said no. Sometimes these things just happen, and that messed me up right there because I need a reason. Like, I need a reason. I need a reason. Like, how, and when, and But yeah, I went home and my partner and I consoled each other, and the days were dark. My midwife, she checked in on me periodically, and she told me my options. She said I could either do the surgical procedure, do a DNC to have everything removed surgically, or I could just do it naturally. And I elected to allow the process to happen naturally. So I'm spending my days like sad and wondering what's going on. Friends sent flowers, and I'm looking at these flowers like I just want to knock these shits off the counter because it's just a reminder of what could have been and what isn't anymore. I don't fault them for it because what can anybody? And I guess I see why. After experiencing this, I guess I see why it isn't talked about, because nobody really knows how to navigate it. Like, they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do. So I spent the days like wondering, like, because I was still experiencing pregnancy symptoms. So I'm like, when is my body going to realize that I'm not pregnant anymore? Like, I'm still in the morning in the shower, like retching, dry heaving with morning sickness and, some nausea and some of the things that my hormones haven't adjusted or haven't rebalanced, so my body doesn't know that I'm not pregnant anymore. And it was messing with me. Like, it took a toll on me mentally to know that my baby has passed, but my body hasn't realized it. It's crazy. It was a crazy experience. But about a month and a day after I found out I was pregnant, which is, I guess, essentially how a woman's regular cycle would flow, 30 days. That's when the process happened. That's when the process began, and it woke me up out of my sleep. The pain that it woke me up out of my sleep. Like, I had never felt anything like it. I was by myself because my partner was over the road, and like he worked over the road, and it was the middle of the night, and I was in pain. Like, I was in so much pain. I don't even want to say, I mean, I guess it's essentially you can call it cramps, but the pain that I was feeling was crazy. It felt like my insides were being twisted, and It was a lot of pain, and I was folding myself up in different positions in the bed, trying to get some sort of comfort or, you know, something, trying to alleviate the pain, but it wasn't working. So I went in the bathroom, I sat on the toilet, I moved my bowels, and I was like, okay, maybe I feel some relief. Maybe it was just that. But nah, that was just the beginning. I sat there for a little bit longer, and then nothing else happened. So I got up and I tried to go lay back down, but I couldn't. Like, my body just wouldn't let me lay down. The pain was crazy. It was crazy pain. And so some told me to just walk. I was walking, pacing, walking, pacing around my entire apartment, just walking. I walked so much that night, like I was just walking. And then I went and sat back on the toilet, and I'm doubled over in pain, like I'm bent over on the toilet, just groaning, and like it all felt very, very instinctual. Like, I felt like I wasn't in control. Like, I felt like my brain kicked into another gear, and it's like just was guiding me into what to do. I felt like maybe I had blacked out, and I wasn't, like, not blacked out, passed out, but like I didn't feel like I was consciously controlling the situation. I felt like it was just my my brain on autopilot, commanding me and my body what to do. So I went back into the bathroom, sat on the toilet, and I was doubled over in pain, and I just heard something say, breathe. Like, innately in my mind, it commanded me to breathe. So I sat up and I took some deep breaths. And that, after reflecting on the journey, it just made me completely, like, appreciate the power of breath, and how fully breathing and allowing deep breaths to flow through your body, like how significant it is to your entire life and bodily processes and all of the things. Because once I took some deep breaths, there was a release. Like, it released itself from my body and went into the toilet. I didn't look because I didn't want to see. I didn't know what it was going to be. I highly doubt it would have been anything formed. It was just likely tissues that probably looked like blood clots, but I wasn't taking no chances because it was already enough for me. So yeah, some came out, then I vomited, and I think I sat back on the toilet, and a little bit more released itself, and then I got up and I felt like a whole lot lighter. Like, because throughout the entire process, like, once the pain woke me up, my uterus began feeling very, very heavy. Like, I remember my uterus feeling extremely heavy. But yeah, once it released itself, I felt lighter physically, but emotionally, I'm still like, why? Like, why did this? I still had to figure out why this happened. So that's what my days looked like. Like, I was researching, scouring the internet, like looking up things, trying to everything just said the statistic that I shared earlier: 1 in 3 pregnancies end in missed miscarriage, because that's what I experienced, a missed miscarriage, where your body doesn't realize the pregnancy is no longer going on, and you still experiencing these pregnancy symptoms, and the only way to know is to have an appointment. So I had a miscarriage, and they was just saying, the research and the articles and the content and everything was just saying it just happens. No rhyme or reason. And I wasn't content with that. And I prayed for answers. And the answer to my prayer came with an invitation to apply to the the Ancestral Medicine Woman Certification Program, which changed my entire world. Okay, I applied and I was accepted, and it was everything that I needed. That deep breath that I just took, that it was a breath of fresh air. Like, that entire program, the mentorship, the guidance that I received, like, it was like none other. It felt like it was exactly tailored for me, because it was exactly what I needed. And my mind was blown. It was thorough, and it helped me work through the hard things. Like I had to go through a deep initiation where I uncovered the spiritual meaning and cause behind miscarrying. Like based on my history and based on what I expected from my family, with the first pregnancy, I didn't get what I was expecting. Like it felt when I told my family I was pregnant, it felt like they made me feel like I was pregnant 10 times before. You know what I mean? Like there was no true excitement. It was nothing. Nothing that I expected. And through that experience, like it taught me that I needed to learn how to mother myself before becoming a mother, because I was expecting mothering from my mother and whoever else throughout the pregnancy. I expected that from them, and I had to relinquish that expectation. And by uncovering that I needed to mother myself, that expectation was gone, because I was beginning to cultivate the relationship with me in the way in which I desired to be mothered. I did an intense the initiation included like an intense cleanse. I learned medicinal formulations. I journeyed with plant medicine and learned them on an energetic level, and just so much holistic nutrition, holistic counseling, just so that the program is all encompassing, and I'm just so grateful. My life changed after that. But a part of the initiation was to embark on a cleanse. So I cleansed my body for 30 days by drinking only a gallon of only fresh fruit and vegetable juice every single day, at least a gallon. And I also incorporated like mineral rich infusions, so like nettles and yellow dock and red raspberry. And I was drinking like molasses, because my entire life I struggled with anemia. And just the year before, in 2020, I had to have a blood transfusion because my hemoglobin levels were extremely low. And through this experience as well, through joining the program and growing and learning through the program, I also realized that outside of the spiritual reason of me needing to mother myself, the reason why my body wasn't able to carry a baby to term is because my blood wasn't strong enough. So like I struggled with anemia for a very, very long time, probably since I was maybe 14, maybe 13, 14 years old. And 2 weeks into that cleanse, like only drinking juice and incorporating the mineral rich infusions and the molasses, 2 weeks in, I felt amazing. Like I felt the strongest that I'd ever felt. I was always winded because my iron was low, like my hemoglobin, my blood was low, so I wasn't getting the oxygen wasn't going through my blood, or however it works. My blood wasn't strong enough for me to really do everyday things without being winded. And 2 weeks in, like it blew my mind. I would take iron pills, and I would be reliant on iron pills, and I'd still feel like trash. But while cleansing and just like giving my body a break to rest and restore itself, and then also giving my body plants and minerals and all of the things that it needed, it built me up in a major way. And the week of November 13th, 2021 was when I ended my juice feast. And on December 5th, because it was my friend's birthday, and she invited me to dinner. And then my cycle was late; it hadn't come. So I'm like, all right, well, let me just take a pregnancy test, because I got something here. Let me take a pregnancy test, because I feel like I'm gonna want to drink. I want to at least have a little drink or some wine to celebrate my friend's birthday. But my period isn't here, so let me take a test. And sure enough, I was pregnant without even trying. My body had balanced and healed itself. The food is the medicine, y'all. Like the live living foods that grows from the earth, that's created, that grows and was created for us here, that don't have to be cooked and don't have to be killed and none of those things. You could just pick it. That's what's meant to heal our bodies. And I'm a testament of that. And if this didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I always felt like it wasn't right, to eat animals and all of those things. But after embarking on that cleanse, it just showed me like how I can sustain myself with plants and fruit and vegetables and how it can heal my body. I went through the entire experience. Like, I did it, and it was easy. Once I put my mind to it, once I committed and said, all right, well, I'm just going to be drinking juice for a month and let's see what's going to happen. Because what do I have to lose? I've been battling with this for years. No doctor, the doctor, when I was 14 years old, before I even started having sex, the doctor prescribed birth control pills because it had iron in it, and my period was heavy and I was in pain. So to lighten my period and to give me a little bit of iron, they gave me birth control pills, which screwed up my hormones. But all that to say, the natural way is what healed me. I embarked on this journey, and it healed me completely. I graduated from the Ancestral Medicine Woman Certification Program as a proud ancestral medicine woman, a holistic nutritionist. And I have the lived experience to help women heal from miscarriage naturally. And that's really what birthed Reaching Your Rainbow. Like, after I healed and I got pregnant, I hired the midwife again, and our journey was amazing. Like, I did have I had a scare in my first trimester. The day before, I was probably cleaning up and doing things because I didn't know any better. Like, I didn't know that I should have taken it much, much more easy than I was. But I was cleaning up and organizing things, and then the next day, I started experiencing bleeding. But the blood, it seemed like it was blood mixed with fluid because it was real, real light. And my heart sank, and I'm just like, yo, why is this happening? So I went to the hospital, and they wanted to do a transvaginal ultrasound, and I'm like, nah, I don't want anything inside of me. I don't want nothing poking and prodding me. I don't want anything to make anything worse. So they did the topical ultrasound again, and they told me that I had a subchorionic hematoma, which is a tear in the tissues of my uterus, like a small tear. And that's what was causing the blood. And I was asking the ultrasound tech questions, but she was telling me she couldn't answer any questions. But she did let me hear the heartbeat without telling me. Like, she turned up the volume, and she let me hear the heartbeat out loud so that it could reassure me. And then the doctors told me, like, it's really nothing that can be done. Like, sometimes, again, this just happens, and you just gotta wait and see. So that's what I did, and I took things easy from there on out. And then once I cleared the first trimester, I had the most beautiful pregnancy I could have ever imagined. Like, I've never witnessed a pregnancy the way, like, how mine was. Everybody that I've ever witnessed was swollen and miserable and in pain and spitting and all of the things. But I enjoyed that. Like, I really enjoyed my pregnancy. It was an amazing experience, just watching my body change and feeling my baby grow. And knowing that, like, just developing a connection and just being so grateful, you know what I mean? Because, like, even before I miscarried, I was always indifferent to having children. I was like, all right, if I do, I'm all right. If I don't, I'm all right. But then when I miscarried, it raised the question, like, well, damn, what if I actually can't have children? So I was grateful, like, the pregnancy just gave me a whole different outlook and a whole different respect for carrying life and bringing forth life and doing things in a way that it empowered me to do things in a way that aligned with me. Like, it showed me that I possess the power to shape my own reality, just by sticking with what I innately knew what was right. You know what I mean? So So yeah, I got to full term, and I think I was probably I probably had hit 40 weeks. Um, but either way, my baby came, and I planned for a home birth, and she was birthed right at home in the bed that she was conceived in. It was initially supposed to be in the birthing pool, but it didn't work out that way. Like, I was in there and I labored in the birthing pool, but she, my child, the baby, when it comes out, is supposed to be face down, but she came out and she was faced up. So I had like a lot of back labor, and that was causing me a whole bunch of back pain while in the birthing pool, and there wasn't, much support for my back. So I was like, all right, I'm tired. And then, we scurried to the bedroom, and as soon as I laid down in the bed and pushed a few times, she came up looking straight up. um, and the midwife was saying, "Oh, she's a stargazer. That's why. That's why it was taking you a little minute, because she's a stargazer." So yeah, she came out looking up, looking at the stars, and I grabbed her out of me and I put her on my chest, and that was the most amazing thing I had ever experienced in my life, and I would not change anything about that experience, even the scare. Like, it showed me how powerful I am, how once you heal and you have a spiritual connection and a deepened healthy practice, like you're strong enough to do anything that you desire. And that's really what I just want that for every single woman, especially women who look like me, because there aren't very many resources out here, and there aren't any for us. You know what I mean? Like, even while creating or building Reaching Your Rainbow, I saw that there was so many websites and so much content just holding on to the grief of it all, and counting up, and however many days has passed since this. And it was nothing about healing healthily and uncovering the spiritual reasoning behind your miscarriage and connecting with your angel baby and thanking your angel baby for everything that the experience with your angel baby taught you. You know what I mean? Like, and outside of the spiritual reasoning behind it, there's also physical reasons behind it. And I'm a testament to that. Like, my blood was not strong enough to carry a baby, and I had to heal myself, and I did that naturally, and I have the experience to help others. And that's what I want to do. I want to provide you with all the skills, the tools, and the resources to help you heal and go on to conceive and live the life of your dreams. Like, because essentially reaching your rainbow, your rainbow can be anything. It doesn't even have to be you trying to have a rainbow baby. This is what it was birthed from. But rainbows are symbolic of, joy after troubled times. So whatever your joy is, whatever joy you're seeking after your tumultuous time, your rainbow is that. But I'm specifically here, and I've created resources for women to help them heal from miscarriage, and go on to holistically figure out the reasoning behind it spiritually, mentally, physically, and also heal in that way as well, and conceive. Because I did it without trying. Like, I'm being so honest. Like, it's not like we didn't sit down and say, all right, let's do this, let's try and try and try. No, I did it. I got pregnant in the midst of the cleanse. Like, think about the dates. The cleanse ended November 13th, the week of November 13th. I found out I was pregnant December 15th. I was already pregnant while I was cleansing. My blood had gotten strong enough. My body had gotten strong enough. My body balanced itself. I eliminated the waste that was built up inside of me. And the nutrients and the minerals that I was taking, it was being absorbed because I had the space to absorb it properly. I had the space for my body to assimilate and do the necessary things that it was needed for. You know what I mean? Like, my body healed itself, and I provided the optimal environment for it to do so. And it's an amazing thing. Like, I'm amazed that it happened, and I want so many people to experience this same amazement, this same joy. I want everyone to be able to have the birth, the pregnancy of their dreams. Um, so with that, I have created a guide, and it'll be linked. I created a guide to help you, you know, navigate the entire journey. I've come up with the rainbow. The rainbow framework was created as a result of my studies with the Ancestral Medicine Woman Certification Program, everything that I did, and um, just my entire experience. And it's compiled in a small document, and it's just a sneak preview. It's just a peek into what's coming, because I have a step by step, in depth guide on the way. However, if you would like to embark on your journey and have a guide into your healing from miscarriage and beginning your holistic journey to healing and conception and birth, just click the link. It'll be in the description or the bio or the info, however this stuff works. It's my first video, y'all. And I thank y'all. Thank y'all. If it's long winded, it's 41 minutes. Maybe I'll break it up. But yeah. If it's something that you need, if this has resonated with you, if this feels in alignment, I welcome you to click the link and grab it. I have all my information, my email, so I'll be there to support you every step of the way. Any questions that you have, you can just send me an email to reachingyourrainbow@gmail.com, or put it in the comments, or wherever. Reach out, because I'm here and I'm not going nowhere. And I thank y'all so much for listening. I love you.